It's So Much Nashville. I'm your host, Sue Bonzell. We are here at Hatch Show Print in downtown Nashville, and we're going to get a chance to take a look inside. Let's go check it out. Nestled in the heart of Music City, there's a place where the spirit of creativity meets the tradition of craftsmanship. This is Hatch Show Print. For over a century, Hatch Show Print has been more than just a print shop. It's a living museum, a cultural landmark, and a testament to the enduring power of the printed word. Founded in 1879 by brothers Charles and Herbert Hatch, this humble establishment has left an indelible mark on the world of graphic design and entertainment promotion. Using vintage wood and metal type, skilled artisans meticulously craft each poster by hand, preserving the time-honored techniques of letterpress printing. The result? Bold, vibrant designs that leap off the page and capture the essence of Nashville's rich musical heritage. Hatch Show Print is more than just a relic of the past. It's a thriving creative hub where artists and designers from around the world come to collaborate and innovate. I'm here with Selene Aubrey. She is the print shop manager and the director at the Hatch Show Print. You've been here for a minute, right?
Well, I've been here for 11 and a half years, but that seems like a drop in the bucket. Hatch
Really?
Show Print has been in Nashville since 1879.
A long time.
It's 145, April 12th.
Wow.
That'll be our birthday.
You've seen a few things here.
Yes, many things. The shop has, and I have. Yes.
So tell us, for the people that don't know, what is a Hatch Show Print?
Originally, a Hatch Show Print was an advertisement, and it could have been the size of a billboard or the size of something that fit in the palm of your hand that somebody would hand you on the street. All the posters and advertisements were tell you or sell you. It was back in the era when print was the dominant medium. We didn't carry, digital encyclopedias and date books in our pockets. Yes. And so how you found out about what was happening around you and in other places in the world was through print, newspaper, books, and advertising of all sorts. Fast forward to the 21st century, where we do carry around these pocket everythings. The posters are made to be commemorative and celebratory. So they're something that you might pick up at a show. There's something that you might receive when you come to Nashville to participate in a trade show or a conference. Yes. Or some other special event like a wedding or something like that. So
now a lot of history as far as country music as well, and you're tied here to the Country Music Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and some of the history, and you can go ahead and name drop a little bit if you want.
Well, Hatch Show Print was born in 1879. The Ryman Auditorium was born in 1892, and so those two entities did business and worked with each other for a few years. And then along came WSM and this little show called the Grand Ole Opry and all of these insanely talented and charismatic entertainers that performed on the Opry every week. In between would be touring and traveling and getting out in the country. You have to think back at that point in time, 6:50 a.m. was a radio station that was a clear channel station, which meant it was heard in approximately 30 states across the country. You were, by and large, listening to the same artists singing the same songs every Saturday night on the radio. When it came time to advertise these stars, they turned to Hatch Show Print to create their advertising, and due to the skills of the folks working in the shop at that time, Charles and Herbert Hatch, who founded the shop, and then Charles's son, Will T. Hatch, who took over the shop in 1921, they carved their images in these large wood blocks that were printed. Millions of these blocks were printed, but they were carving the faces of the stars of the Grand Ole Opry, so that when these advertisements were sent out to be pasted up on billboards, put in windows, things like that, people were seeing these artists possibly for the first time.
So the mistakes that come off the press, do you all have to do you have to burn them? Because
no. Oh my gosh, no. We call them make-readies because we use that paper over and over in our process of making sure that all of the type looks good. When you're working with something that is 150 years old,
yes.
it might have been worn down a little bit over the century and a half. And so sometimes it needs a little help to look good printing. And you put a piece of paper under it and do a test print, run a make ready through, make sure it looks good, make sure everybody else looks good, it's on the right spot. So we just sort of use the same batch of paper over and over. So instead of taking something that you would recycle, we turn it into other things like journal book covers or posters that people can send home from the shop, things like that. And so that's where we take those make readies and chop them up and frame out really cool.
Well, I love that because there's still pieces of art and beautiful pieces of art. So I like the upcycling idea. Now, just looking around the building, you can feel the history. I mean, I'm looking at all of these blocks. And so do you know what every single block is here?
At one time or another, I can find an obscure block, but it's sort of, reminding yourself. You'll go to a section looking for something, and then you'll get lost remembering, oh yeah, that's here and looking at that. So we have a few guides to help us with the locations of some of the things, and we're constantly refreshing our memories. I will say one of the reasons why we don't necessarily have an accurate grasp of everything that's in the shop is because everybody who works on staff, and we have about 10 people designing and printing posters, and the person who designed your poster also prints it, which is a great way for them to ensure that the process is maximized to create the best poster design that they're creating for the posters. But carrying on the tradition of Charles and Herbert and Wilty Hatch and his staff, we all carve blocks. And so every week there's probably one or two at least blocks being freshly carved and added to the shop's collection. So you come over here and you might be looking for an airplane, but then you'll find, there might be 3 or 4 different airplanes because there was one carved 20 years ago, and that was maybe the one you were looking for. But since then, we've carved a couple more. Or there's a very, very old antique airplane that's a copper cut that you find in one of the drawers, and you're like, oh, this is cool. And so that's part of the joy of actually working in a place like this and being surrounded by this history, is participating in it, but also being inspired by it.
I'm wondering, because we are in a technological age now, is it strictly all, just very traditional, or is there any kind of technology that you've brought in? And if so, what is that?
We brought in computers so that we could communicate with our customers, because the rest of the world is in the digital era. Quite frankly, the presses that we use, they don't make them anymore. So we maintain them. We repair them ourselves. The process, the handset wooden metal type, they don't make metal type anymore. There are a few people making wood type, and wonderfully, the museum that now represents the wood type manufacturing company in days of yore that the shop used to order type from, now cuts wood type. So we order fresh wood type from them. Technologically, we don't necessarily use it in our design work. Our press kit photos are digital. So we send those to a plate maker, and then they make the photo plates that we then print in the printing presses. But the process by which they make those photo plates is the same today as it was 50 years ago, 75 years ago. So what we bring to the table that's from the 21st century are the people. And that's on both sides of that poster. It's the designers, and they're all, coming out of college recently, or having studied other things and then come to printing through some other avenue. And it's exciting to them to be able to put their skills, whether they learn digital design or bookmaking or fine printmaking. They're excited that they're able to come to work every day and use those skills. And then on the front side is we're making these posters for the artists of today and their sensibilities and how they present themselves into the world. And so that's where we come into play. I mean, color and how we get texture onto the paper and inject some fresh imagery or new imagery that is speaks to how they're presenting themselves. So when are we going to get you on the press?
Oh, I'm ready.
You know how you start? You can start the way all of our interns start.
Okay.
We have folks who come in and learn the process and work with us. We have to put away some type. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Selene Aubrey, here at Hatch Show Print. So much Nashville to see here, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.